Alright, so I've been patient, I've waited, we're coming to the end of the movie cycle now, so it is finally time to talk about our boy Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Let's do it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What do you think? Content to Shadow. That's so damn cool, and I'm going to be making an Amy one for it pretty soon, but yeah, I'm in love with this light, guys. It's absolutely awesome. I'm going to have to start streaming again so we can get some like interaction with it so it lights up and does different things when people do things. But yeah, we're here to talk about Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, I put this video off for a little while because more than anything, people I knew hadn't seen it yet, and from the title and thumbnail of this video, it's the biggest spoiler. Well, not the biggest, but well, no, it probably is the biggest spoiler, actually. I mean, depending on whether you think it's that or Supersonic, but here we are to talk about my favourite character in all of fiction finally going to make his appearance in the Sonic cinematic universe. But he's kind of already made it. The post-credit scene counts. He has entered the SCU. And I want to take some time to talk about where I think the character is headed, because we have our understanding of this universe as it currently is, and we have our knowledge of the game universe, and we have a little interview with the writer of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and how Shadow is going to be implemented. So let's get right into it. Shadow is here. We see at the end that Gun, and like the second that they said Gun, I was like, there's no other reason for Gun to be here than to be setting up what you're setting up. And then the post-credit scene happened. And funny enough, I did that movie leak video a while ago where it was like someone had clearly gone and seen a test screening, and it was spot on everything. There was actually a guy that constantly was like having a go at me in the comments. It was quite funny about it. And then when the movie came out, he was like, "Ha, proved it, I was right." And I'm like, no, the leak is correct. Like, that is what happened in the movie, bro. I've seen it like 3 times at that point. I've seen it like 10 times now. But we're getting away from it. Gun are looking for any trace of Eggman, and they say that they found a file buried deep in their system and going back almost 50 years. As soon as they said 50 years, I also knew what they were going on about. We cut to the black site where the pod starts coming out of the ground, and you see the shoes, and then you see our boy Shadow the Hedgehog sleeping there restrained, and then he wakes up and there's a lot of yellow electricity coming from the eyes and stuff like that. Really, really cool. I screamed at the staff screening, so I was in like silence as I saw it. I was like in awe, and then people in the screening just started going like, "Shadow, oh my god," and I just literally was like, "It's fucking Shadow!" I went nuts, man. Like, I know a lot of people wanted Chaos or Metal Sonic next, and I'm gonna do another video which will be my predictions on 3, where I think Metal Sonic will be included. I do believe Metal Sonic will be the villain of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I think Sonic and Shadow are gonna have to team up in the end to defeat him. But I'm personally over the moon with Shadow, and it makes complete sense because he is the second most popular character in the franchise. He might not be your favourite, he's mine, but they did polls on this. Sega put out these polls a few years ago, and Shadow was number 2. Shadow always hits number 2. It's always Sonic first, obviously, but it's the way it is. It was the right choice. And Jeff Fowler worked on those incredible cutscenes for Shadow the Hedgehog. So, you know, he has a connection to this character, and I feel like he is the right person to bring him to life and give him this amazing character that, like, well, not character, what's the right word? This amazing personality that we have from the games. And I know that people are hit and miss on Shadow the Hedgehog as a game, but I love the cutscenes in that. I think they're absolutely incredible. They are just iconic Shadow, and I absolutely love it. So he's here, and it looks like he's going to be our villain for 3, except I don't think he is going to be a villain because Shadow isn't. Shadow is an anti-hero, but Shadow is a good guy. Yeah, so I think they are going to go into that. Now, if we pull up quickly what Pat Casey has been saying, we can see here in a recent interview on the Green Hill Zone podcast, the film's co-writer Pat Casey talks about what to expect from Shadow when he shows up to make trouble for Sonic, Tails and Knuckles in the new film. Casey admitted that the primary reason he was the film's post-credits scene was primarily because of his popularity. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Second most popular character in the franchise. Of course it has to be Shadow next. And also because of what he could bring to the films going forward. Because Shadow, when he gets past his evil arc, you know, 06 Shadow. Hot damn. I love 06 Shadow. Like the idea of him being on the scene well before Sonic knows what's going on, because he's efficient. He is perfectly trained to do what he does. He's a perfect field agent for Gunn, even though I don't understand how he's working for Gunn after, like, I wouldn't forgive them. I mean, I might forgive, I certainly wouldn't work for them after that. Casey described him as driven by anger and revenge, similar to Knuckles, but the key difference is that Shadow isn't misunderstood like the Red Echidna when he was in the sequel. Shadow was created with the prime goal to protect the world from danger, but it's the way he goes about it that will put him at odds with Sonic and friends. This is really interesting. So, Shadow is meant to be the world's saviour, supposed to be a protector. But he's driven by anger and revenge, and the way that he goes about it isn't right. So this is something I find really interesting, because the question that I had coming out of that screening, and I'm sure a lot of you had as I've seen online, is, will Maria die? And at first I was like, I don't think so. Not in this universe. I don't think it fits to kill a 10, 12-year-old girl for saving Shadow. Like, it's just very, very dark. And I love it, don't get me wrong. It's one of the reasons I love the story of Shadow the Hedgehog. It is so dark and so human in a way that I don't think any of the rest of the cast kind of have in that regard. Maybe like the friendship between Sonic and Tails, but it's just something else entirely. And I really didn't think they were going to do it, but now they got me thinking. I genuinely think this is a possibility, and Maria dying is so huge. Like, so huge. If they put that in there, they are really going to set the precedent of why Sonic can't convince Shadow like Knuckles. Like, he's not misunderstood. He is just, raw. Please, can we just get some sort of like, because if they, bear in mind, right, so obviously, let's get this out of the way first. The obvious first choice to voice Shadow the Hedgehog is calamityhatcher, so please, you know, share the hashtag calamity for Shadow. But the second choice, and one that's probably going to happen because, you know, like, I've got a really busy schedule, is Keanu Reeves. And if Keanu Reeves ends up voicing Shadow the Hedgehog and he goes on some John Wick level rampage through Gunn, like taking out, well, actually I suppose it can't be Gunn because they weren't set up that long ago. So maybe it's just against humanity. Maybe it is his goal to crash the Ark into the planet because of the amnesia that he's suffering. Like, hot damn. That's what I want. Keanu looking out the window of the space colony Ark, like, remembering that Maria wanted him to protect the planet. And then that brings us on to, of course, something that everyone else is thinking about, and we're all wondering whether it could happen. But first, let's finish the interview with Pat Casey. Casey also teased that Sonic's efforts to connect with Shadow wouldn't be quite as easy as it was with Tails and Knuckles. Sonic's never had to deal with someone as emotionally damaged like Shadow. When he sees Shadow, he's like, well, I just got to teach him about the power of friendship, like with Knuckles. But that's not going to work on Shadow. For fans of the franchise, it's an interesting thing to say, given that Shadow's desire to protect humanity stems from witnessing the death of his friend Maria at the hands of Gunn. I mean, yeah, the fact that he has just said
emotional damage
hits me on a different level. They are going that way. Clearly, what else is he going to be emotionally damaged about? I mean, they could write something new, but that sounds to me like Maria. And, oh my god. He's going to have to realise on the Space Colony arc that Maria's goal was for him to protect humanity. It's going to have to happen. And it's just crazy to me because I don't think they're going to follow it exactly Adventure 2 style. I don't think we're going to have the Biolizard and things like that. I do think the villain will be Metal Sonic. 100%. And I think that's kind of the point of Metal Sonic, because he's going to come from that quill that we haven't seen since the beginning of the second movie, but we know he didn't leave it behind. I've checked that scene, I've looked for that quill somewhere, no sign of it. I think Metal will be too much for Sonic, and Shadow and Sonic will have to team up to defeat him. Now, I am hoping that will be on the Space Colony arc, and the two of them will have to go a certain mode in order to beat him. I'm sure you can guess what that is. I'm sorry, I'm getting so gassed over this light, but I can now change it to Super Shadow. Like, it's... God damn, this is so cool. Go check it out. It's the Nano Leaf Sonic the Hedgehog edition. That's not a plug. I was not paid to say this. I just absolutely love this, and thank you to the guys, all the FaceTime family, for getting it for me, because I just absolutely love it. But yes, will we get our live and learn moment? Well, if Paramount keeps up the way it's going with Sonic music, we probably won't get live and learn. Seriously, Paramount, the one element that is missing from these films is the iconic Sonic music. You've got to get it in there. Get the deal done with Crush 40. We need live and learn if we're going to get Shadow. All Hail Shadow or something like that. Like, please, just do it for my boy. But I do think we're going to get them both going super at the end of it, because how do you top Super Sonic in this movie? Well, you do Super Sonic and Super Shadow together, and times two. You know, it's elevated. It's gone to a different place. Now, I know a lot of people also quite think about Amy, and I'm going to talk about Amy in my Knuckles What's Next thing, because Knuckles is coming out in either 2023 or 2024. It was recently delayed, the TV spin-off for Paramount Plus, and I think Amy's going to come through there. So I do think Amy will be an element of the third movie. I'm also wondering whether Rouge will be. I think it makes sense to bring Rouge in at this point if you're doing Shadow. I think we're going to get a very faithful Shadow. As I've said, Jeff Fowler worked on the cutscenes for Shadow the Hedgehog, and he has spoken before about how much he just loves this character. And this is a big one. This was one that I personally feel was for the Sonic fan like myself, the older Sonic fans, because as much as he is the second most popular character in the franchise, he's one that really sticks with people from my generation and generation above me, generation below me, I think, because Sonic Adventure 2 was huge, and it made everyone fall in love with Shadow. And since then, we haven't got masses for Shadow. You know, we got Shadow the Hedgehog in 2005, Sonic 06, 2006, and from there he's kind of made little appearances, but he's not really had as big a focus. I would say, funny enough, Forces, he probably got a bit more to do than he has recently, and that still wasn't loads, but he got a bit more to do. So I think that was something for us, as much as all the other references were. As much as this is a franchise for kids, it definitely hits those points for the adults, for the long-term fans of the franchise, and short-term as well. And it really is beautiful to see us all coming together, and I'm just so happy. I live in a time where I am seeing Shadow the Hedgehog on the big screen. You know, he really is my favourite character out of anything. I relate to him so much. Like, I'm not saying I had a friend of mine that died by getting shot by the military, but yeah, like, there's a lot there. I think, to be honest, anyone that kind of has any mental health issues can really relate to Shadow, because there's very clear things that he's dealing with. So I think, for me, this is just everything I could have asked for, and I cannot wait to get information on what's going to happen with Shadow in the trailer for the next movie. God knows when that'll be. It'll be quite some time. I imagine we're going to hear something about casting for Shadow, I would think, by December. Maybe into 2023, but I think we're probably going to hear something then. But of course, the second that we find out, you know, you're going to find out here. So hit subscribe, hit that little bell, join the #1 Sonic channel on the YouTubes, and of course, the #1 fan of Shadow the Hedgehog. So when it comes to this third movie, I'm going to be talking about everything. So subscribe, bell, snap a like on it, let me know you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? What are you excited about with Shadow in Sonic the Hedgehog 3? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think I'm way off on any of my predictions? Please do let me know. Give my lights some love, and I will see you on the next one, because that is what it takes to be a Calamity. Lots of love. Bye for now, guys.